Sly Cooper. Ratchet and Clank. And finally, Jak and Daxter. The holy trinity of 3D platformers for the PS2. I remember telling my friend who was a Ratchet and Clank fan about Jak and Daxter in 4th grade. While I played the game, he never beat it. Of course, he was also a fan of Secret and Clank, so that goes without saying much. I always felt like Jak was the weakest of the platforming trilogy on the PS2. Some would say that this was because of a lack of focus throughout the Jak games. I think this was actually the case, considering Jak 2 really shifted the focus. If they had only stuck with the formula presented in the first game, Jak and Daxter could have been something that was truly great instead of a failed piece that had to be discontinued. I think Naughty Dog really built a lot of potential with the first game. The series, this is one of the best PS2 games I've played, and most of the problems I have with it are nitpicks. I will admit that the collectathon gameplay is a bit dated, and it was dated when this game first came out on the PS2, with Grand Theft Auto 3 being very popular. However, I'm surprised just how much I've forgotten how good Jak and Daxter really is. The colorful environments, the seamless open world, no loading times. However, maybe I'm letting my nostalgia goggles blind me. So one of the really big aspects of Jak and Daxter is the seamless open world that it provides. This means that there are no loading times. I liked this a lot as a kid because it gave a great sense of exploration, and the world was really big. There are even day to night transitions. Now, though, it kind of got frustrating to find the different collectibles, especially the Scoutflies. In Sandera Village, I spent over half an hour trying to look for that last Scoutfly. This game could have benefited from a mini-map to navigate around. However, I guess I can understand that this would most likely take away the joy of collecting things, considering that is the purpose of a collectathon game. Most of the tasks that the game has you do are not repetitive. These include like climbing a giant precursor robot, activating eco vents, etc. And for the most part, there is a decent variety of tasks that the different NPCs give you to do. And overall, this gives a lot of flavor and variety to Jak and Daxter without it breaking from the core gameplay of platforming. And however, there were some tasks that I felt did drag on, and these usually revolved around the Precursor orbs. I thought it was kind of repetitive when you had to collect all the Precursor orbs straight for a power cell with some of the villagers. I thought that maybe the Precursor orbs could have been used to get more substantial stuff like new abilities. Jak from the bottom up is a basic platformer. It could have done more if it had something like more abilities or something to use the Precursor orbs for. Considering that there are a lot of different eco powers, such as blue eco making you run faster, yellow eco making you shoot projectiles, and red eco increasing your strength, maybe the Precursor orbs could have been used as currency in order to buy expansions to the different eco powers. Or maybe they could have acted more like the gems in relation to Spyro and Moneybags from the Spyro the Dragon series. You trade them in with Moneybags in order to unlock different areas. So Jak and Daxter could have had something similar. Like, there is one section in Rock Village where one of the villagers is willing to repair the bridge have you cross over to another level, but perhaps there could have been more instances like this. I guess that's why a lot of people think Jak and Daxter is really dull. It doesn't really add anything new to the table other than a seamless open environment. It can lead to a slow pace, especially having to walk everywhere. There could have been something added to speed up, like how there was a hoverboard in Jak 2. It took me such a long time trying to find a lava tube while wandering around volcanic crater. I almost felt like I covered the entire level. The observant one will realize that I've said nothing about the story. It's a simple one, common to a lot of platformers of this time period, but very well then. So Jak and Daxter are venturing on Misty Island when they come across a Precursor artifact. All of a sudden, a lurker attacks them, and Jak throws the artifact, causing an explosion. The explosion knocks Daxter off his feet, and he turns into an Otzel.
You shouldn't have come here, and you listened! What? Okay. I'm fine.
Meanwhile, the duo, the Samus the Sage, who rebukes them for going to Misty Island and tells them that the only way to get themselves to turn back Daxter is to venture on to Gaul and Maya. In the meantime, Kira the mechanic repairs the Zoomer in order to provide transportation for them, and they start to realize that one by one, each of the different sages were being kidnapped by a mysterious figure. Eventually, they realize that this mysterious figure was Gaul and Maya. In this sense, there's a major twist in the story in which they must stop Gaul and Maya from building the robot that will open the Dark Eco silos and flood the world in order for them to remake the world in their own image. Overall, it's a very solid plot, but I wish that they didn't make Jak a mute protagonist in this game. I mean, for a lot of platformers, there are many mute protagonists that usually don't tend to speak, and I kind of felt like Naughty Dog didn't really draw away from this with Jak. I thought they could have given him more of a personality, and sometimes it often feels as if Daxter is the star of the show. On the other hand, Daxter has a lot more personality. He ends up being the stereotypical comic relief for the game. Samus is also the stereotypical grandpa. The only one that has some level of dimension is Kira. She is the spunky mechanic, but she is able to show some different sides to her character. Like the time when Samus is kidnapped, she isn't like, "Yeah, go get him, Tiger," like you'd expect a spunky girl to say. She is genuinely worried for Jak. I don't know. She just came across as more appealing compared to some of the other characters in the game. And I wanted her to be with Jak. But instead... Ugh. So overall, most of the criticisms are nitpicks. The open world required a lot of trekking around in order to get from point A to B. Zoomer's controls are stiff, but other than that, Jak and Daxter is probably the most 3D, polished 3D platform you'll find for the PS2. I kind of feel with some things we are pressured to like or dislike them when we grow older, and that's fine. Tastes and opinions can change, but sometimes it's okay to like things from the past, as long as you can validate them with good reasons. For Jak and Daxter, I still liked the game for similar reasons that I enjoyed it as a kid, but I did find some issues in it as well. Now, as far as sequels are concerned, I did find some suspicious lines in the ending that might point out Naughty Dog may have had different ideas for the sequel of Jak and Daxter.
And Kira, without your help and ingenuity, none of this would have been possible. Perhaps we've found another sage now that Gaul and Maya are lost.
Yes, Gaul and Maya. The Dark Eco probably destroyed them. Probably.
Kira turning into a sage, Gaul and Maya possibly returning? There could have been a lot of directions Naughty Dog could have taken for this. But alas, what we got instead was what we got.